Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. This is Orrin Johnson filling in for Sam Shad. Joining us today is Chandeni Sendall, member of the Gaming Control Board. Next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The 13th annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada. Silver State Government Relations, we know Nevada, so you don't have to. And University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, offering the highest level of care in Nevada.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. This is Orrin Johnson filling in for Sam Shad. Joining us today is Chandeni Sendall, who is one of the newer members of the Gaming Control Board. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So if you just introduce yourself, you're not the newest member of the board at this point, but
Correct.
You're still pretty new.
Yes.
When were you appointed?
I was appointed by Governor Lombardo earlier this year in January of 2025.
So give us a little resume. What's your background? What brought you to being a member of the Gaming Control Board? What's your background in gaming? You're a lawyer, as I know.
Yes, yeah, thanks. I'm from Northern Nevada, and I went to school here at the University of Nevada, Reno, studied economics, international affairs, played on the golf team here, and then realized, I don't think I'm going to continue my golf career, so I should keep going to school. And I hadn't taken the LSAT because I was traveling all the time on the golf team during my undergraduate studies. So my economics professor recommended I do my master's in economics and work as a graduate assistant while I take the LSAT. So that's what I did, and that was a great experience and kind of got me my background in economics and kind of the finance area. And at the time, after I graduated, I'd taken the LSAT. A family friend worked for Harrah's Entertainment at the time here in Reno. As a corporate employee, she traveled all the time, worked internal audit. And at my graduation party, she said, you should really consider this. You have an economics background. It's really fun. It's a lot of young people. And, you want to be a lawyer. It's kind of like regulatory work, and you should try this out. So I did. I took a chance, applied, and started working for, which is now Caesars Entertainment. It's the same company. Working in internal audit full-time for a year, traveled down to Vegas, to Tahoe, I've audited essentially all the properties in Nevada that Caesars owns.
And that was even before you went to law school?
That was before I went to law school, and I did that for a year. I liked it so much, and my bosses in Vegas, I told them I was going to be leaving because I intended to go to law school full-time, and they said, well, hey, why don't you come move down here? We'll support you, and there's a part-time evening program at Boyd. You can work during the day at Caesars on the Strip. You won't have to travel. You can just audit the properties down on the Strip. And go to law school at night. It was a 4-year program, part-time program, and that's what I did. So I continued to work in internal audit at Caesars for almost 4 years. I was able to intern for a semester in the corporate legal counsel office. So that's really where I gained my kind of gaming background and exposure to gaming, and it was that I really loved. Tried to come to work as a gaming attorney, but it's a very small kind of market, and I really wanted to move back up to Northern Nevada, be closer to my family. My husband's family is up here. So ended up clerking at the Nevada Supreme Court for now retired Justice Chief James Hardesty, and from there worked in private practice. Ended up at the city of Reno, where I've spent the last 10 years as a deputy city attorney doing civil litigation and a lot of labor, collective bargaining kind of work there. And last November, the governor was looking for candidates to fill a position on the Gaming Control Board, and my name was thrown out there, and somehow here I am today before you.
So as a member of the Gaming Control Board, you're not doing legal stuff per se necessarily, is that right?
Correct. So the board is made up of a 3-body appointed 4-year term positions by the governor. There's 2 board members and a chair member. So currently you have the chairperson, which is Mike Dreitzer. He was appointed in June, and he took over the existing term that started in January of 2023 for former chairman Kirk Hendrick. And Kirk Hendrick and my other colleague on the board, retired Judge George Assad, they both started in January of 2023, and then I started the staggered term. So their terms, both 4-year terms, started then, and I started just this January of 2025. So therefore, their 2 terms, now that Chairman Dreitzer stepped in for former Chairman Kirk Hendrick, will end in 2027, if that makes sense. And I'll finish in 2029.
So is it common to have that new, a new board? Everybody's pretty young. Are there like term limits? How does that work?
So there are no term limits, and so it's at the discretion of the governor. So I'm very grateful to the governor for this opportunity to be on the board, and really the 2 board members, kind of function at the lead of the chairman. So Chairman Dreitzer currently is the one who sort of sets the standard and is really trying to or is in the process of kind of executing the governor's directive. So he meets and is in constant communication with the governor and kind of wanting to ensure that we're doing everything we need to regulate the gaming industry, ensuring appropriate licensing, that it's fair, equitable kind of.
So when you say regulate the gaming industry, I know you can't give me an answer in the 30 seconds we have before we're going to go to commercial, but in a nutshell, what does that mean? I mean, what does the Gaming Control Board do?
Right. So we have the absolute authority over all licensing and regulatory, creating regulations over the industry in the state of Nevada. So essentially, we're ensuring that all the gaming licensees are kind of fairly and equitably treated, that everyone has a correct standard. So that includes audit, enforcement, investigations of licensees that come in, and just ensuring that the games are fair and, that the slot machines are tested, that, it's not rigged, that the patron has an avenue to dispute if there's a dispute about an outcome. So that, as a quick summary, that's kind of.
I assume you have a large staff. You're not personally going down and playing every game and making sure that's.
There's over 400 employees at the Gaming Control Board with 5 offices in Laughlin, Elko, Las Vegas, Reno, and Carson City.
All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about some of that absolute power. I'm curious about some of the limits of that. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
Hit the road in style during the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $5,000 every week and a top prize of a 2026 Chevy Traverse or $40,000 in cash. It's the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. This is Orrin Johnson filling in for Sam Shad. If you're just joining us today, we have Chandeni Sendall, who's a member of the Gaming Control Board. So one of the things that I've lived in Nevada for 18 years. I never really was aware of what the Gaming Control Board did until a few years ago when I was writing a column. And there was a whole thing with Steve Wynn where essentially he was denied the right to run a casino. And I was fascinated by this, and I looked up some stuff about the true power of the board. Now, I'm certainly not asking you to talk about Steve Wynn, but I am curious. You use that phrase, absolute power, and when we talk about a government agency, that seems unusual. So could you tell us why that is, what that really means, the history of it, why the Gaming Control Board has such power?
Yeah, and it's a great question. And actually, in preparing for this interview, I did a little research with the help of the wonderful staff at the Gaming Control Board and our newly appointed or selected PIO, Jennifer Morton, did a great job. But really, gaming initially began back in the 1869 was first legalized over a governor's veto. But it was short-lived, and in 1910 it was outlawed again. And it was only in 1931 that there was a system put in place where there was actually county licensing, and shortly thereafter the state legislature imposed some gross gaming revenue licensing and revenue collection that all goes to the state general fund. And really from there, that's when the Nevada Tax Commission came about. And so initially back in 1931, gaming, oversight and licensing was under the Nevada Tax Commission, interestingly. It was only in 1955 when what is kind of the modern day regulatory, agency known as the State Gaming Control Board was put into place. So that's 70 years ago, just this past July. So we just celebrated our 70th anniversary. And with that, in 1955 is what you have is the current structure that we kind of talked about, right? The three-body board appointed by the governor. But that was sort of short-lived just at that level, because 1955 that started. 1959, the legislature put in place the Nevada Gaming Commission. So it's a two-tiered system. So the commission is a five-body appointed office as well, or body, I should say. And they have a chair similar to us, and then 4 board members. They're appointed to 4-year terms by the governor. They're part-time, though, in capacity. And what the commission's role is to oversee. We essentially make recommendations to the commission, and so they have final say on all licensing authorities, whether to approve, limit, condition, and whatnot on licenses. And so if we bring forward a disciplinary matter, the board is almost like the prosecutor against a licensee, for example, as you just stated, and that would go before the commission, and they would hear that. And they would make that final determination on disciplinary matters. We make approvals. We have monthly meetings in which all of the all the proposed, applications before the board are considered. And then 2 weeks after our meeting, the commission hears it as well. So they have that function kind of over us. So it's kind of a two-tiered system to ensure it's fully vetted and you have a lot of oversight over it. And that was in 1959. In 1960, that very next year, on that regard, that's when the commission passed the creation of what is called the list of excluded persons, AKA
the blacklist,
also known as the Black Book. And the reason it's called that is because that list would be, issued by the Gaming Control Board in a little black binder to each licensee. So they knew, hey, these are the people to look out for. So that only started in 1960.
Is that people that can't get a license, or people just aren't allowed to come into a casino?
They aren't allowed to come into a casino because they're deemed to be unfit, or to be bad, repute to the state of Nevada, essentially. So, and that all began kind of to your point in 1955. Why was the board created is you had the crime kind of mobster association, the skimming off the top of, the cash counts that were being done at the casinos. And there's actually a great 6-piece story done by Richard Vallada down at the Las Vegas Review-Journal that kind of started to issue earlier this year, where he goes into great detail about the creation of the list of excluded persons, how it came about, who's on it. And I reviewed one of his articles kind of in preparing for this. And it's really quite fascinating because that was the concern initially, right? You said, why was a gaming control board even founded back in 1955? It was this kind of crime mobster association.
But is there's sort of this moral turpitude determination that you get to make before even necessarily somebody's convicted of a crime or a crime is proven or anything else like that. Are there any limits to that, or is it just sort of a gut call if I don't think that guy's a good guy? I mean, how does that work?
Correct. So shortly after that list of excluded persons started in 1960, there are further regulations that the Gaming Control Board put in place, requirements and statutory requirements under, NRS Chapter 463. It's really the Gaming Control Act. And that's what established also the commission back in 1959. And that provides a standard. So there are clear standards. It's a very short list. There's not a lot of people on it. I think now there's probably around 40 people on that list. And once you're on that list, it's essentially you stay on it until either you decease or there is a due process where you can try to get off the list. But historically, my understanding is nobody's ever either tried to get off the list or been successful in getting removed off the list. So, but now I would say, it started with the mob that, and our current chief, Christy Torgerson of enforcement, was interviewed as part of the 6-part series because she's over our enforcement division, who really does do all these investigations, on current licensees. It's really shifted from the mobster scene to catching people who are trying to cheat over the years. So people either, using little contraptions in their pants or trying to rig a slot machine and trying to overcome the system, to really what now is thievery, right? People either, stealing chips and either taking them from other patrons or from the gaming industry overall. So that role is important, as I stated. And if a patron has a dispute, I won that slot machine, 24/7, enforcement's on call and duty, and you can call and they will be there to take those disputes.
Got it. As a criminal defense attorney, I could hear about this all day.
Oh, right.
We're going to take a little break. And when we come back, I'll talk about a few other things about the gaming industry.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
You're in trouble with the law. It's easy to think you'll lose everything, but there is hope. I'm attorney Orrin Johnson. Your first step is to hire a serious attorney with the experience to successfully navigate the legal system for you.
Sometimes hope means addiction treatment instead of jail, and making sure you're treated fairly.
Sometimes Hope means fearless trial attorneys will stand up to the government when they get it wrong. Call or text Orrin Johnson Law.
We'll make a plan.
You'll take back your life.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. This is Orrin Johnson filling in for Sam Shad. If you're just joining us, today we have Chandeni Sendall, who's a member of the Gaming Control Board. So I want to shift from talking about mobsters and cheating and all that other interesting stuff to talking about sort of the future of gaming. So I've seen a lot of articles in the media about sort of the decline of the industry and revenues are off and that sort of thing. Is that true?
You know, I can't. I know earlier this year, Sam Shad had now retired Gaming Control Board economic analyst Mike Lawton on. And Mike worked in that capacity and worked at the board for many years and has that kind of knowledge and background. And I watched that episode in preparation for this, and he would be the one to answer those questions. I will say now, Shelley Newell, our current economic analyst, does a great job in putting those numbers together, and they're available at gaming.nv.gov on the Gaming Control Board's website, and that includes the gaming monthly win report. There's a quarterly report that kind of gives you an overview of the 6 divisions at the Gaming Control Board, and that really goes into what the numbers are looking like. So that would be the best place to find that information. Even what we just talked about, the list of excluded persons, that current list is on the Gaming Control Board's website.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, so one of the other things I've seen a lot of, and it's I mean, I tend not to go to Vegas and go hang out at the casinos a lot, but I've certainly seen anytime I'm down there, prices are going way up. A lot of people are complaining about, large excessive fees that seem to push kind of the middle class tourists that they used to come to Vegas. Is that something that that is within the purview of your regulatory power? Is that something that the board looks at in terms of sort of the health of the industry and making sure that people are still coming?
At the end of the day, we're here to support and ensure the integrity of the gaming industry. Right, so we support the industry and support that it's just a fair and equal field for all patrons to come and visit. So I would say our role is more as the regulator, ensuring, again, we're doing investigations in all these individuals that get the licenses before they get approved for licensure. We're doing the enforcement if there's any complaints or crimes that occur at our gaming licensees. So that's kind of where our focus is at. We also have an audit function, the collection of tax and revenues. The licensing and revenues that come in that the Gaming Control Board oversees, it makes up about 20% of the state's general fund. So that's a significant portion. And we also are really the gold standard of gaming regulation globally. We have a huge global gaming expo next week down in Las Vegas. People come internationally to come and learn about gaming. And, we'll be meeting with multiple international delegates at our office next week. It'll be my first time attending. Again, being fairly new to the board, this is a whole nother new level from working civil litigation in the Reno City Attorney's Office for the past 10 years. And so I'm learning a lot still in my role. So all I can say is we're here to ensure everyone's being treated fairly and that it's, that it's a place where people want to come, and that as the industry changes, as patron demands change, the industry is going to respond to that, and we need to ensure, one thing I can say, the governor's mandate and initiatives that we're executing through Chairman Dreitzer is to streamline the regulations, ensure that our regulations are up to date, right? As technologies change, as patron demands change, we need to make sure that we're staying relevant and that our regulations are up to date, and ensure that there's no, statutory burdens on,
right.
on
So
the industry.
as the board, I mean, do you craft the regulations? Are you able to implement them? Do you have to submit them to the legislature? How does that work?
Right. So we have statutory authority that's given to us by the legislature, and as I said, mainly those are found under NRS Chapter 463. But yes, we have a slew of regulations, I would say up to 30 regulations currently that we're working on a large regulation project overhaul of looking at all those regulations, ensuring with the recent legislative session that any amendments that need to be made to our regulations are made. But we have through the Attorney General's office, we have 5, I believe, Deputy Attorney Generals assigned to the Gaming Control Board who assist us in that legal process as well. And then also, obviously I haven't really touched upon yet, we have 6 divisions at the Gaming Control Board, so we rely on all those individuals, right? We have the administrative division, we've got technology, enforcement, investigations, audit, and tax and license. And those individuals have been there for, decades and provide a wealth of knowledge and experience. So we rely heavily on them to help us.
Well, and I'd love to talk about that, but unfortunately we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate being here.
All right, we'll be right back.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
No tricks, just treats at the Carson Valley Inn during the $100,000 Monster Pirate Treasure giveaways. Thousands in cash and free play giveaways every week. A monstrous $25,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. Don't ghost these giveaways. Halloween awaits at the Carson Valley Inn.
The 13th annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada. Silver State Government Relations, we know Nevada, so you don't have to. And University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, offering the highest level of care in Nevada.
Thank you for joining us on Nevada Newsmakers. That's all the time we have for today. This has been Orrin Johnson filling in for Sam Shad. You can join us 24/7 at NevadaNewsmakers.com or download our podcast anywhere you get your favorite podcasts. Thank you for joining us.